Hello viewers, welcome to yet another episode on General English where we shall be handling grammar, and in today's class we shall be looking at prefix, suffix and articles. So let's first find out what exactly you mean by a prefix and what you mean by a suffix. So any part of a word, yes, when you add a few letters to the front of a word, in other words, before a word, and a few letters after the word, then we term that as a prefix and suffix accordingly. In a word, we would therefore have three parts. One is the prefix, and two, if you would look, you would see it's the base word and the suffix. So therefore, a word can be divided into three parts: prefix, the root word and the suffix. We'll take an example of the word called bedazzle. You pronounce it as bedazzle. Now it actually means something that is so attractive that you keep looking at it. So BE here therefore becomes a prefix. Dazzle is the root word. Now dazzle, you know of course what is dazzle, very bright, something that can be shining or something that is very attractive and you get to look at it. And the letter D becomes the suffix. So therefore, even if one letter is added to a root word, it can form either a prefix or a suffix and depends on the position where it is added to. So viewers, let's look at a few examples and add a few letters before a root word and see how we can transform it. The first word here is point, P-O-I-N-T. See how it transforms in semantic when you add AP to the word point. So it becomes a point. And you of course know what a point is. Yes, and appoint of course means appointing somebody for some job. Look at the word low. When you add AL before the base word or the root word, as we say, the semantic once again changes. Low becomes a love, so quite different when it comes to the meaning. Roll, R-O-L-L, and it becomes enroll, E-N-R-O-L. Prove, so add AP and it becomes approve. Cede, C-D, cede is to give up something, giving up your throne, cede. Accede means you are actually agreeing to something. So there again you add AC to it. Joint, you know what's a joint? A joint is a change, a juxtaposition, a change in position is called as a joint. Mighty, so obviously when you add AL it becomes almighty. A few other examples for prefixes. Normal, you add AB, it becomes abnormal. Base, base, so base is the foundation, and when it becomes a base, you mean something that is very derogatory. Yes, something that has lost its respect is called as a base. Back, aback. Now, aback is when somebody is pulling the sail aback and holding it together in a boat. That's called as aback. Bled, of course, you know what the meaning of bled is. When you tend to lose blood, it becomes bled. When you add A, it's completely changed and you say abled. Abled is the capacity to do things. Ape, it's a kind of a monkey. When you add G to it, it becomes gape. So what is gape? Gape is you look at something. Yes. Gate, you know what a gate is. Late, pate is not an often used word. Pate refers to an archaic word which means head, H-E-A-D. Tap becomes re-tap. You're tapping, you tap on or knock something and you do it again. It's called as re-tap. Top. So, topping, let's say you take a finance from someone, you take an amount, you top up the amount. So, re-top. And the word go. So, you add a to it, it becomes a go, referring to again a time that's lost or in the past. Further examples, when you use letters like R-E, B-E, A-N, U-N, S and A. So, gain, you regain something. Of course, you know what is gain, it's profitable. Regain, what has been lost, you gain it again. New, renew, you renew your passport. Gin is a kind of alcoholic drink, and when you add B before the base word or the root word, it begins, it sounds or it becomes begin. Got becomes begot. Total, retotal. Thesis, you of course know what a PhD work is, so you call writing a research paper for a length of pages, you call that as a thesis. So, antithesis is the opposite. For example, antithesis of say happiness is sorrow. Gone, begone. Begone is getting angry and asking somebody to be gone from your sight. Usual, you add un and it becomes unusual. Mile, just add an s and it becomes smile. Corn is a word that all of you would know. A corn is the seed of an oak tree. So, it's a beautiful seed and that seed is called as a corn. In the word rush, you add a C to it and you change the meaning to crush. You know, crushed under the wheels. Believe. So, the opposite of belief or believe is D-I-S-B-E-L-I-E-V, which means disbelieve. When you add M-I-D, like how you add to the word night, it becomes midnight. Man, so the letters that you add to the root word man is W-O and that makes it woman. Estimate, here you add a prefix under, U-N-D-E-R, and it becomes underestimate. Ether, ether is a very good word. Ether refers to, actually in chemistry, it refers to colorless liquid which is highly flammable. And this particular word ether is, if you look very closely at the word, in literature it means something else. It means a space above the clouds which is pure. So, it says ether is a place where everything is silent and probably pure and pristine. So, when you add N to ether, what happens? When you add N, it becomes nether. Nether is, suppose you have two strata. The lower strata is called as nether, something that is lower. When you add T to it, it becomes tether. Tether is again a beautiful word in English which actually means you're tying. For example, you tie an animal with a rope to any particular pole or so, that's called as tether, tethering. Pose, a very, very easy word where you all pose. Yes, you, with mobiles you all decide to pose yourself and take a picture of yourself. So, when you add I am as your prefix, it becomes impose. You force yourself on someone or the other. So, all these while we were looking into prefix and looking at the root word and with the root word we were analyzing how a few letters that when added to a word, before a word, how it can change in meaning. Now let us look at words which can be changed by adding a suffix, that is, with letters that can be added to the end of the word. You know what is right and you know what is wrong. So when you add edu to it, you know what is right and you know what is wrong. So when you add the letters ed to it, what happens is the meaning entirely is transformed, wronged. This is more or less based with justice, how justice can be maligned when you wrong somebody. Yes, so that is the meaning. Mother, you add the suffix HOOD, motherhood, feeling of nurturing, and it's an abstract noun, so you can only feel what it is to be a mother or a father. Cannibal, people who eat human beings are called as cannibals. So cannibal, ISM, when you add it to the end of the root word, it changes into cannibalism. So cannibalism is a state or a condition where people eat their own flesh. Project. So you know what a project is. Everything that we do can be assigned as a project, can be looked at as a project. When you add ION, the letters ION to the root word project, then it becomes projection. Projection is, there is some kind of jutting out. There's a projection on a cliff. So it's a small, maybe a piece of stone or a rock that juts out, and that's called as projection. Joy. Add OUS to it and it becomes joyous. Adjective, a feeling of elation. Quiet your silent. Quietude is a noun where the state of silence, the state of peace, the state of calmness. So wrong, wronged, mother, motherhood, cannibal, cannibalism, project becomes projection, joy becomes joyous, and quiet becomes quietude. A few more suffixes are here on the slide. Petri. Petri is a small dish, petri dish, it's a small glass dish, petri you say. Petrify means you are highly scared, it's a feeling of fear. So when you add FY to petri, it becomes petrify. Beauty, you can add IFI, you can also make it FUL or ICIAN, it becomes beautify, beautiful, beautation. So these are the three words that you can acquire when you add a few letters as suffix. Corner. Corner is of course a corner. You have a lot of corners to a particular shape. Yes, multi-cornered. So cornered is too many corners. It can also mean you are pushed to a particular state where you cannot escape. So you have two meanings. So here adding ed changes the meaning and you get the word cornered. Picture, picturesque, something very, very colorful and very pleasant to see. That's what is called as picturesque. Human, you can add letters and you can derive humaneness, humanity, humankind. Humaneness actually refers to a kind of sympathy and kindness, not just to human beings, but to animals and plants and to almost all beings on earth. Humanity, you know, is oriented towards your own species, which is humankind. Pure. So you can get with ity. When you add at the end of the root word, you would get purity. You can even say purify. So the last word, cop. You know who's a cop? A policeman. See, when you add y, it becomes copy. When you add per, it becomes copper. Yes, a metal. The last word, couple. They say it's obsolete, but it's a beautiful word, so I thought I should include it. Couple is actually, I've also given you the meaning of it. It's supposed to be a hill rising to a point, that's called as couple, or the tuft of the bird, you know, the feathers that grow from the head, that's also called as couple. So see how Y, ER and PLE can make a difference in that particular root word COP. Further examples, build, you get builder or building. That's quite easy. Building is also a noun. Cover. Coverlet is a bed sheet, is otherwise called as coverlet. Covering, get a covering letter. Yes, so you also cover a few, let's say, some metal and you cover it up, that's also called as covering. So there again you have two different semantics. Fold, look at the word fold. Fold, with adding ER to the root word, you get folder. And adding ing, you get a folding. Folding, this is a folding chair, something that can be, that's flexible. So that's a folding. So look at the word forget. It's a very common word, and I'm sure all of you actually know the meaning of forget, because we are always very forgetful in the pressures of our lives. So forget, when you add FUL, becomes forgetful. Forgettable. So TABLE makes it forgettable. Smite, SMIT, it's a beautiful word again. Smite actually means a blow, hitting somebody. Yes. Smitten. Smitten is quite different in meaning. Smitten means you are carried over with somebody. Yes, you are obsessed with somebody. So that's what it says as far as the semantic goes. The word blow. Blow, of course you know what a blower is. Yes, you have a hair dryer, that's also called as a blower. Blown, something that has blown away. File. When you add D to the root word file, it becomes filed. You file a case. So it's filed. Filer is a noun where he files cases. He goes and gets things done and files your documents. So let's take a look at the prefix and suffix and understand that prefix can vary from a lot of examples, like from A to BE to AL. Yes. When you add A to FORE, yes, what happens? It becomes a fore. A fore means before. It's not used nowadays. When you add BE to a root word called MOAN, moan is to cry, it becomes bemoan. Bemoan means you are lamenting that this is not working, that is not working, not very unhappy in your reaction. Most, when you add AL to it, almost. So that's how a prefix goes, adding letters, and they are numerous, as I said, of numerous types or kinds. Suffix can also equally range, as some of the examples that I've given here, look at it very closely. You find the letter fame, FAME. When you add OUS, it becomes famous. Take the root word hate, HATE, you add R to it, it becomes hater, somebody who hates. ME, you add ET to it and it becomes meat, Me becomes meat. Or you can also add, like in F-O-R-G-E, forge. Yes, forge is a word where you forge something, and when you add T to it, you already have an E. So when you add T to it, it becomes forget. Forge becomes forget. So therefore, when in a word like sweet, S-W-E-E-T, add en to it, it becomes sweeten. And in the root word P-U-R-E, if you add ly to it, it becomes purely. Purely is, it means entirely. Yes, so it's not anything that's got to do with P-U-R-E, pure. It's got to do with entirety here. So always remember that the root or the base word that we find or we use or employ in the English language can undergo an entire transformation in meaning. It can either be in meaning or in the tense, the time format. And in order to identify a prefix or a suffix, it's very important that you have an enriched vocabulary. You should at least know that such a word exists. So let's now look at how we can use articles. Articles in English are of three kinds. They are a, an, and the. This is what we learned when we were very young. It's quite easy to know that there are only three articles in the English language, and they are a, an, and the. Now, the is termed as a definite article, while a and an are called as indefinite articles. A and an always refer to singular objects. Yes, so remember, a and an will always refer to anything that is in numbers and that is singular in number. Look at this sentence. There is a boy in the class. A boy. So one boy. The class, we are particularizing the class, so therefore we have fixed the article the there. So the usage of a refers to some boy in the class, while when we are specific about something, we use the article the. So it is important here to realize that the should not be used before proper nouns. For example, you can't say the James, the Tom. No. The can, however, be used in front of certain names like Ganges, the river Ganges, or as in the particular example that I've given you here, look at the sentence. The Thames River is certainly an important icon in the British regime. The Thames River, so there the can be used, is an important icon. To say it is one of the important icons in the British regime. Regime is, of course, rule. What many of the English learners overlook is a change in the pronunciation of this article the. When you use the before a consonant sound, it is voiced as the. Likewise, when the is placed before a vowel sound, it becomes the. So to put this across, I've got you a sentence and it reads thus. The idea is to learn English the right way. I repeat, the idea is to learn English the right way, which means the idea, I is again a vowel sound. So the idea is to learn English the right, because you have a consonant sound after the. So the right way. So the is, of course, an article which stresses on something that is specific. A and an, therefore, are articles that quantify, yes, meaning 1. They refer to 1 in number. The sound of a word that starts with a vowel should insist on the usage of an. So, an apple, an orange, an ink bottle, yes, an egg, so an umbrella. These are the sounds that should be specifically present if you want to insert an as an article. Now look at the examples. Here, university, it begins with a vowel sound, U, yes, but it is not considered as a vowel because the sound in pronunciation is university, which is Y. So, a university is located far away instead of an university. If it was umbrella, an umbrella, but university, the letter Y is what is sounded, therefore it becomes a university. Likewise, there is a consonant letter there, H, but it is silent and it is therefore an honest man is he. An honest man is he. That's how you would read that particular sentence. It is a fantastic day. A, because F is of course a consonant. She is a joyful person. J again is a consonant sound. Let us enjoy listening to a song. S again a consonant. He is an uneducated man. Un, I said as umbrella, so therefore you insert un. So remember, the sound should be of a vowel sound if you want to insert an before it, and it should be a consonant sound for inserting the article a. So there are 3 kinds of articles in the English language, and it is important to remember that articles depend on the vowel and the consonant sound respectively in determining its usage. A is a singular noun and is used before a consonant sound, while an is used exactly before a vowel sound. The is a definite article, and the also changes in its pronunciation according to the position where it is prefixed either with a consonant sound or a vowel sound. The umbrella and the building. Remember, the umbrella and the building. So, this is how you should be able to tackle prefixes and suffixes. There are many and for which you need to enrich your vocabulary. And articles, though they sound very easy and they look very easy, there is a lot of difference in its usage, and you must use accordingly to the sounds that the sentence might hold according to the vowel sound and to the consonant sound. So thank you for joining me on this session. Until we meet again, adios.